The views and opinions expressed during Eye on the Triangle do not represent WKNC or NC State student media. Your dial is currently tuned to Eye on the Triangle on WKNC 88.1 FM HD1. Thanks for listening. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your day. My name is Emilia Rivadeneira, host of Eye on the Triangle, and with further ado, let's get into some news.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nubian Minute, your go-to podcast for breaking down headlines that impact Black students, minority communities at NC State and in the world. My name is Sanai Richmond. I'm the social media manager for Nubian Message.
I'm Julia Cox. I'm a writing correspondent for the Nubian Message.
I'm Blake Anderson, a writing correspondent for the Nubian Message.
I'm Olivia Henson, a layout designer for the Nubian Message.
My name is Kristopher, and I'm a layout designer for the Nubian Message.
So first, we're going to talk about a topic that is fresh on everyone's mind, the Grammys. Liv, you have some opinions on it?
So me and Kristopher, we're basically about to go head to head because I feel as though Beyoncé, not necessarily that she didn't deserve Album of the Year, but this was not the Album of the Year. Like, Beyoncé definitely needed Album of the Year for one of her earlier works, like maybe even for like her self-titled or anything else. But I just don't think Cowboy Carter had the biggest impact. But Christopher, I want to hear your thoughts because I know you had a lot to say in the group chat last night. So,
even though you are right that Beyonce definitely should have gotten an Album of the Year for either Lemonade or Renaissance or even her self-titled album, Cowboy Carter to me was Album of the Year because of the storytelling that it had. It took you on a journey from start to finish, and it also redefined what country truly means, because country is just a genre, and she took that, flipped it on its head, and just took 2024 by storm, and she just reinvented it, and she reinvented the wheel yet and yet again, and we've seen that with her other projects from the past, and it just continues to evolve with her.
but I just feel like even with her getting Country Album of the Year, I feel like that kind of just answers that for itself. Like, I mean, if you get Country Album or Country Record of the Year, does she really need Album of the Year? I feel like if that is like your stance, then I don't know.
I mean, I think in general, when it comes to Album of the Year, we've seen like great artists in the past did not get it. But I think when it comes to Beyonce, that was like the missing piece, because we've seen other artists like Taylor Swift. She has 4 of them, and people keep saying, "Oh my God, when is she gonna win it?" Like, she keeps getting snubbed. Other people keep winning it, but she somehow can't win it. But I just think with Cowboy Carter winning it, I think it not only cements Beyonce as like one of the best artists of like all time, even though she becomes the first Black woman in 25 years to win Album of the Year since Lauryn Hill did it in 1999. So it's just, she not only won it, she also made history, and I think it validates it even further that not only she won Best Country Album, because Black women historically have been shunned in country music, and not only did she push through that and continue down this path and made a country album that was absolutely fantastic, she then won the biggest award of the night over some peers like Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, and just rose above.
So, Blake, I know that you did not listen to any of the topics, so what or any of the artists. So, what would you have considered your album of the year?
Me personally, I would probably say Chromacopia was album of the year for me personally. It resonated with me at the time in my life that I am in, and then Tyler also went into the period of time in his life that he's in, and how he's evolved as an individual. Similar to how Chris said, like Beyonce has evolved over the years in her career, and I feel like this album just really emphasized how much Tyler's grown as an artist from his first projects in 2012.
For me, I can see why a lot of different arguments can be made for album of the year. I definitely think that Charlie's album Brat also had a crazy influence, that Brat summer. But as far as like making history, I do think that is a very valid point. And like also on the topic of making history, black women making history in the music industry, I really liked seeing Doechie's
Yes.
win for like the first. She was the third black woman to win best
Mhm.
rap album, so I think that was really really nice. Is there any opinions on that?
No, no, like absolutely, like Doechii making history as the third Black woman to win Rap Album of the Year. Crazy! I did not even know that because I think it's her now, Cardi B, and Lauryn Hill are the only three to win it, which I think is very telling that again, but Black women have to work extremely hard to get recognized in certain spaces, and that's why I I was like happy that Beyonce won it because I didn't think she was gonna get it. I thought it was gonna go to somebody else.
Yeah, and speaking of black women, I've heard a lot of discourse on TikTok saying how like this kind of makes up for Kamala not winning the presidency. Like this is our like black women winning moment, and I'm kind of honestly here for it because I mean we can only accept little wins, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would also say, like, while we're on this topic of diversity and, like, let's talk about the DEI stuff, like, everything that's been happening lately in the political atmosphere. What are you guys' opinions on that?
I think it's very upsetting to see like how quick these major corporations like pulled back all their DEI initiatives, and like it's kind of being like misinterpreted within like the community about what DEI is and like what it means, and it's not even just for Black people; it's for any unrepresented group. And I think it's kind of disheartening to see that these corporations really don't really care about how that they're hiring people or how they're like helping the community, but
You're right. Yeah, I could see that for sure because it's like, in a way, you almost don't expect it to be such a split second decision as soon as it's not mandatory, you know?
I agree. I really think it goes to show how quickly people can switch up. Because if a company really felt and believed that they should have these diversity, and equity, and inclusion initiatives, then they would maintain them. It wouldn't have to be mandatory. They would just naturally have that available for people to take advantage of. But for them to just pull back on it means that they don't really care and they're just doing it to show face.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's the like companies like I guess showing their true colors because like I guess maybe they didn't really care about it, but I guess they just had to do it for the sake of doing it. And yeah, because like I do think the DEI for sure is getting like misconstrued because apparent like most people thinks that it only stands for like minorities and for like black and brown people, where it's like it's a lot like white women benefit the most from DEI. And I think a lot of people don't, I guess, don't want to understand or just don't care about that sort of aspect.
And I would also say it's very important to realize that, like, the community also greatly benefits from DEI. Like, even to the point of all this stuff that happened with the air traffic controllers being fired, and like how many people have been affected by that. Um, and that was just like huge detriment to something that could have been entirely avoided. Because, people taking commercial flights have passed away. So that just raises a lot of questions about the ethics of making these rash decisions.
And along with that, the value of DEI goes beyond just the way that people view it as something that's become a racial propaganda. And DEI has created so many opportunities in education, especially. And we have so many values, especially when it comes to representation in healthcare, representation in music, and in bigger things. There was one case of unethical practices, and there's been many cases. But in one case, they had a study of 400 men, and they were all like diagnosed with syphilis, but they purposely didn't tell them about it. And then they continued to experiment on them and not give them treatment after norepinephrine was found as a treatment. And so they continued the study that was supposed to be for 6 months for 40 years. And it completely ruined these men's lives. And then it completely ruined their families. And then John F. Kennedy, they said that to make up for it, once somebody found out about the study, they gave them lifetime medical insurance. And that just seems like such an imbalance. And I know that and many other cases has caused a lot of mistrust for Black people and other minorities to even have like proper health care. And so having representation in these fields helps build trust, and that like we're being cared for by people who truly care and not misusing or misdiagnosing. So it's a lot deeper of a topic than just getting rid of something that helps people get into schools. It creates an unsafe atmosphere for a lot of people in the community. So now
yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. I think it's really important to think about the long-term effects that these decisions have.
So we understand that a lot of people have been in fear and just worried about what the future could hold. It's only been a month, and January feels like chaos just keeps on erupting from left and right. So we want to be an outlet that you can talk to us. You can have your voice heard here at the Nubian Message. And we want to continue to encourage finding community and speaking out against things that are happening that seem like they're completely out of your control, but we have a voice still, and to keep on using that and doing it in whatever ways that you can. So thank you for listening, and we can't wait to see you next time, next week, same time. Bye.
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 Adios.
This has been your host, Emilia Rivadeneira. Thanks for listening to Eye on the Triangle. For back episodes of the show, go to wknc.org/podcasts. Music in today's episode is Krakatoa by Noah Stark, licensed under Creative Commons.